Hello everyone, Zana again. It's been a while since I put something up. Been about around 2 weeks. A lot of stuff's been going down, and I just thought I'd put an episode of Xana's Closet up. One as a little update, personal update video for you guys to let you know what's been going on, and two as an actual episode of Xana's Closet talking about something other than the crap that's been going on. So first of all, about 2 weeks ago today, I got some very disheartening news from my boss, telling me that at the end of August, the company that I work for is going to be doing away with my job. So I am basically going to be laid off at the end of August. So, yeah, what I've been doing for the past 2 weeks is basically nothing but looking for a job. I've been doing nothing but applying and just all that. So, yeah, that's pretty much all I've been doing for the past 2 weeks. I've had pretty much no time for anything else. So, there's that. But I've got frick tons of applications in, so I'm waiting. So, yeah. Little backstory on that. As I've told you before, I'm a file clerk at a community hospital. And recently, the hospital I work at's been going to digital files, which means that all our files are going to be on an online database. So 2 weeks ago, what would it have been? It would have been like, what would it have been? It would have been like around January 7th. We finally finished getting everything packed up and over to the scanning company. And then Wednesday, and then like on the 14th, and then on the 13th, my boss tells me, unfortunately, we're going to have to get rid of your job because that's the basis of your job. That's the whole reason you were hired in the first place, is to file in and maintain these files, which the files won't be there anymore, so what's the point? Ow. I just banged my knee on my desk. That hurt quite a lot. Okay. I'm alright. I can handle more than that. So yeah, that sucks. So now I have to find a job within the 2-month time span that she gave me, either in the hospital that I currently work at or at a different facility somewhere else. So, yeah, I've got 2 months, which I hope is enough time for me to find a new job. It should be. I really don't want to end up having nothing at the end of the 2 months. Which my boss tells me that she's not going to leave me without nothing. She's going to make sure I have a job at the end of the 2 months. Which now it's more like, yeah, it's 2 months. She's going to make sure I have a job. I hope. So, yeah. That's that. So, wish me luck. I'm crossing my fingers and toes. Which I hear that crossing all that's unlucky, but there's no proof, so, Hey, anyway. Let's move on to a happier topic, shall we? Alright, the actual reason why I'm doing this Xana's Closet today. I want to talk about one of my favorite subjects, anime. I like a lot of anime. But because there's so many things about anime I could talk about. There's so many different kinds of anime. There's so many different shows I could talk about. So let me talk about anime movies. More specifically, Studio Ghibli. I love Studio Ghibli. You have no idea. Studio Ghibli and Hayao Miyazaki make some really excellent movies and material. If you don't like Studio Ghibli or have never seen a Studio Ghibli movie, where have you been your whole life? Because you've probably been living under a rock. Seriously, go out and find a Ghibli movie. I'm going to be going through my collection with you guys and showing you ones that I have. I don't know what was with that lighting change there. That was kind of weird. Alright, anyway. I'm going to be showing you all the ones that I have. Let me tell you, I don't buy a movie unless I like the movie. That's my rule. If I own it, I really, 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 really like it. That's my rule. I usually watch it first, either through Netflix or a friend's house. I borrow it from a friend and watch it. I've seen it on TV or anything like that. I go to the movies and see it. If I really, 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 really like it, I buy it. I spend my money on it and I buy it. That's my rule. So I have I'm looking over at my shelf. I have like 1.5 foot cubby holes in my entertainment center, and then I have a little DVD rack next to my entertainment center full of movies. If I see it, if I've seen it and I like it, I buy it. That's like the third time I've said that, but that's the truth. And no matter what it is, it doesn't matter. I have a list of things that I still want to buy, but I don't have the money for. So there's a lot of things on this shelf, on these shelves. There's 3 shelves. So anyway, my history with Hayao Miyazaki Ghibli movies. It's a long history. I have my pile of Ghibli movies next to my computer. Let me start off with the very first Ghibli movie I ever saw, because after that it gets kind of fuzzy as to the order. The very first one I ever saw, which I think I can put in like my top 3 favorite Ghibli movies ever, and I still have this. If you don't know what this is, you were either not alive or had no consciousness in the 1990s. This is what is called a VHS tape, children. This is a VHS tape. This is what movies used to be on. Let me open this up and show you. This is a VHS tape. This is old school. Not as old school as some other things. I still have this. It still works. I'm going to make sure I always have a VHS player so that I can watch this specific copy of this movie. But yeah, this was my first Ghibli movie. My Neighbor Totoro, the original Fox dub. Is it Fox dub? I'm going to call it the Fox dub because it was released by Fox. Fox. I'm going to call it the Fox dub. No. 50th Street. It was dubbed by 50th Street. That's what it was. But anyway, this was the very first Ghibli movie I ever saw. This movie was released in 1989. That's the year I was born. That's the year I was born. And this copy, this English dub copy, was released in 1993. So I was only 4 years old. But let me tell you something. At 4 years old, this was the only movie I wanted to watch. This is my favorite, one of my favorite Ghibli movies ever. Because I can watch this at 22 years old and feel like a kid again. What it is, this is a movie about 2 little girls in Japan, post-World War II, I want to say. Post-World War II Japan. And they're moving from, I guess, a big city where they used to live to the countryside because their mother is in a hospital. And they move into this house in the countryside. And this house, cat bus, look at the cat bus. This house is situated in such an area where there's so much stuff going on around them. They're just experiencing all this whimsy and all this wonderful, magical stuff. It's just, you cannot be... Oh my goodness gracious, again! Thank you for telling me that you're at lunch. Oh my goodness. Say hi to Silent, everybody. I'm turning this on vibrate so you guys don't get bothered. I keep forgetting what time he has to go to lunch. I'm so sorry. Alright, anyway. Vibrate. Alright, so yeah. That's basically what this movie is about. These two sisters. May and... What's the other sister's name? Starts with an S. Sayaka? I know the littlest sister's name is May. Just having all these adventures in their new home. Especially with this big freaking cat thing. I love this movie. I love it so much. I bought it. Again. Well, I didn't buy this one. My parents did. But I bought it when it came out on DVD. Except, this is the Disney dub. Not the 50th Street dub. The Disney dub. And there's a difference. The Disney dub does not have the original voices. It's not the original dub. If you grew up with the original dub, like I did, and then you watch this, most of the time, you're going to say that you like the original dub, I've found. Most of the time, I find that people my age, or other people who have grown up on the original dub, and then went and then saw this dub, like the original dub better. And why is that? I don't really know. Because the Disney dub isn't bad. It's not bad. It's a good dub. Satsuki, that's her name. They said it on this one. They didn't say it on the original. Anyway. Excuse me. So, yeah. I can't accurately say why. Because the girls who did Satsuki and May are the Fanning sisters. Dakota and Ellie Fanning. And if you don't know who Dakota Fanning is, look her up. She's the daughter in War of the Worlds. Sorry. Silent only gets half an hour for lunch, and then I decide to record during his half an hour. What's my problem? I promise what the heck am I doing? How's work? Question mark. Send. Don't be dumb, stupid phone. There. Alright. Alright. Yeah, if you don't know who Dakota Fanning is, if you've seen War of the Worlds, she's the daughter in War of the Worlds. She's not bad. She's a good actress. I like her. She's not bad. I haven't seen a lot of stuff that she's in, so I don't really have that much of an opinion on her as an actor, as an actress as a whole. And her acting in here is fine. Her sister's acting in here is fine. I really like the way they did the dubbing in here, where they had Dakota and her sister in the dubbing studio together, saying their lines together. Kind of like a radio show. But for some reason, I start to watch the new dub, and I have to stop it because something about it just doesn't resonate with me. I have to go back and watch the original dub because I don't know, maybe it's just because it's what I grew up with. Maybe, I don't know. But that's that. That is My Neighbor Totoro, my first and in one of my favorite Miyazaki movies. The original. Probably for a very silly reason. Alright, so I have, how many others? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7 Miyazaki movies total. Not counting that one. Those ones. Total it's 8. I'm going to count those as one. Yeah, I'm going to count those as one movie because they're the same movie, just 2 different dubs. So how should I do that? I think I'm going to go in alphabetical order because that's how I got them situated. Alright. The other one I have, another one that I have is Castle in the Sky. It's so pretty. Trying to look for a date. I can't find one right off the bat. 2. Crap! I'm just gonna leave it at that. Castle in the Sky is also a really good one. It didn't really get as much. I'm gonna take that off because it's messing with my lighting. It didn't get as much coverage, I should say, in the United States as some of the other more popular Ghibli movies. But it's not a bad movie. It's got a good dub. It's got a nice solid dub with some not so big name actors in it. Anna Paquin, James Vanderbeek did the main 2 leads. These 2. It's a solid dub, and it's actually a really good movie. I actually really like it. I had seen it once before I bought it. And when I had seen it once before I bought it, I really, really liked it. I don't understand why my other friends didn't like it. I liked it. So I bought it. And then I saw it again and I still liked it. So it's on them. I definitely recommend it. If you haven't seen it yet and you're a fan of Ghibli movies. I definitely do. It's an internet reviewer described this movie, and the way they described it is just hilarious. This movie, if you've seen other Ghibli movies, they are very, I don't want to say serious, because they have their own kind of humor. Because they're mainly kids' films. This one is like a Ghibli movie with a fart joke. Because it has one. And I'm not gonna spoil as to where it is. You'll have to watch it to see where it is. Another really good actor in here is actually on another one on the front page, which is Cloris Leachman, God bless her soul, who is a hilarious old lady actor who does one of the Sky Pirates in this movie, and she is just absolutely hilarious in this movie. Definitely go and watch it. It is, if you haven't seen it yet, watch it. It is absolutely hilarious. I love this movie. God. Eat your lunch. Eat your lunch. Leave me alone. Alright. Anyway, next one I have is Howl's Moving Castle, which is another really good movie. All these are really good movies. I should stop saying that. Because of course they're really good movies, otherwise I wouldn't have bought them. So, what is there to say about Howl's Moving Castle, really? Story about a woman whose life is kind of bland, works in a hat shop, and then she somehow gets involved with a wizard. And because she gets involved with this wizard, a witch turns her into an old woman. And everything starts going really, really weird. And really cool all at the same time. So yeah, Howl's Moving Castle's a really nice one. The dub is really good. The dub is excellent. I haven't seen any of these movies in the original Japanese. I probably should. So yeah, if you haven't seen it, which honestly, if you haven't yet, how? Because pretty much everybody I know has seen this movie at least once. So yeah, Howl's Moving Castle, go see it if you haven't. Next one I have in my pile is Kiki's Delivery Service, which is about a little girl witch. This is not Harry Potter. So not. Who has turned... Is it 10? I think 10. I think it's 10 years old. But has turned 10 years old, and thus must begin her journey away from home to find what kind of witch she is. And dear God, is it hilarious. The dub is good, except for, one thing, and that's Phil Hartman as the cat. They do too much with Phil Hartman in this movie. They really do. They should have toned Phil Hartman down a little bit. They gave him way too many lines for this movie. It gets a little obnoxious, is what it does. But other than that, it's really good. If you're looking for a little bit of whimsy, it'd be a good movie for you. Although it's a little girly, so you might want to be careful. The next one I have in my pile needs no introduction. You just need to look at the title. Come on. Really? Do I need to say anything? I do know something about this movie that many of you may not know. Lighting change. Is that this is a Disney movie. It is. It's a Disney movie. But, you know how this movie contains a lot of blood and violence and dismemberment? Disney wanted to edit a lot of that out of this movie. And Ghibli said, no, you can release it, but you can't edit it. You can dub it, but you can't edit it. It is not being edited. So, here's what Disney did. Disney pushed this movie over to Miramax, which belongs to Disney. I bet you didn't know. Which is owned by Disney. I got this information from a reliable source, being the Jezo Otaku, an internet reviewer, who also works for the Anime News Network. So yeah, and you know what? I'm glad Disney did that. Because you know what? I don't want to know how crap this movie would have been if they had done that. I really don't. Because this movie probably would have tanked. Well, it did tank. But that's only because it had a very limited audience. It being so heavily on the Japanese symbolism and all that. I heard that it tanked. I don't understand how, but it did. But still, I am so glad Disney didn't dub this. That Disney didn't lay their greasy fingers all over this movie. Because it's awesome. The dub is just so good. I've heard so many people just gripe about Danes and what's the other guy? Claire Danes. I heard a lot of gripe about Claire Danes. I did. About Claire Danes as Princess Mononoke. Not Princess. Her name isn't Princess Mononoke, it's San. I've heard a lot of gripe about that. Which don't stop griping. Please. Her voice is fine. I liked it. It fit the character fairly well. Alright. It's an awesome movie. And that's all I'm going to say. So if you haven't seen it yet, go see it. The next one is Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind, which was released before, I believe, Totoro. Of course, the actual movie was released afterwards. The actual DVD was released after that. Yeah. This is a good movie about this girl here who lives in this girl here named Nausicaa, who lives in what is I guess what would be a future version of our Earth. After this great war that turned pretty much the entire planet into a wasteland. Except for portions of it which are covered by this jungle, which is very, very, very dangerous. That humans can't even enter because the air itself is noxious and would kill you within about 5 minutes. And there's a lot of political strife going on in this world because there are about 3 kingdoms left. And all 3 kingdoms are warring against each other. Well, all but one are warring. Well, there's a handful of kingdoms left. And pretty much all of them are warring against each other because they want to control what's left of the Earth. Except for the Valley of the Wind, which is a very peaceful village. A very peaceful kingdom, which wants to learn how to live in harmony with the forest instead of jungle. Sorry. Live in harmony with the jungle instead of, destroy it. So that's a very short synopsis on the movie. It's a good movie. The only problem I have is the protagonist, because she's very perfect. She really has no faults. She's Mary Sue. Alright, anyway. This is the second to last one, I promise. This one I didn't even know about until recently. Is Porco Rosso. This one is really good. I'm not just saying that like I called them all really good. This one is really good. This one could be number 1 on my list. Or at least number 2. Like if Totoro is number 1, simply because it's my childhood favorite movie, and it still is one of my favorite movies, no matter what. Totoro is my number one, simply because of that. This is my number two. And it recently took that spot. Like, this past weekend, it took that spot. This movie is that good. What is Porco Rosso about? Porco Rosso is about, well, Porco Rosso. This guy, this pig, who flies a plane. A plane. See the plane? The pig who flies a plane. There's always been themes in Ghibli movies, especially ones that Miyazaki himself have directed, especially. And Hayao Miyazaki's always loved flight, always loved air machines, and this one is full of them. Oh my god, there were so many air machines in this. It's just unbelievable. And this one is so good. It is so good. It's so good. I can't fully explain how good it is. I don't even want to explain the plot to you because it's that good. Here's one thing that I'll say. It is Carrie Elways playing a Texan. Do you know who Carrie Elways is? If you've ever seen Men in Tights, Robin Hood Men in Tights, he plays Robin Hood. That Carrie Elways. He plays a Texan in this movie, and it's hilarious. I love this movie. This would be my number one if I didn't love Totoro so much. I have about 3 movies fighting for number 3. I can't even pick one. There's so much lighting change going on because of all these movies. So yeah, Porco Rosso, my number 2. If you haven't seen it, find it, buy it, watch it. You will not regret it. This movie is that good. Where'd the cover go? There it is. Get back in your cover. There. Alright, the last one is pretty much the one that made all these dubs possible. There's Jamie again. God damn it, I can't text. I need to drink some tea too. My throat's getting all bleh. Ah, it fell down. That's not good. Alright, anyway. This next one is what arguably has made all these other dubs possible. Except for Totoro. Totoro was released way before this one was. And so were a couple other of these movies had dubs before Disney took over dubbing Ghibli movies. So this one I like this one. It's not in my favorites. But I do like it, and I do suggest that you watch it if you haven't. It's a I've gotten a couple I've heard a couple. It's mixed, the opinions on this movie. I've heard people say, yeah, I really like it. It's an excellent movie. And I've heard some people go, I really don't like it. I don't know why, but I really don't like it. I like it. I'll sit down, I'll put it in and watch it on a sour day. It's Spirited Away. It's not in my favorites, It's still a good Ghibli movie. I don't know why I can't put it in my favorites. Because I do like it. I really do. I just, for some reason, can't put it in my favorites. I don't know what it is about the movie. I can't do it. Because the acting is fine. The art is beautiful. The story is good. I just, for some reason, can't put it in my favorites. I do like it, and I will watch it. I just can't do it. So yeah, that's really all I have to say about this one. Spirited Away is a really good. It is a good movie. I can't bring myself to put it in my favorites. I don't really know why. So yeah. Anyway, that's it. That's all the Ghibli movies I own. I do have a list open on my desktop of other Ghibli movies. There are some that I've seen that I don't own, that I would actually like to own. And some that I haven't seen, that I would like to see. Excuse me. There is one movie that isn't technically a Ghibli movie, that I actually would like to see. And that is, it was directed by Hayao Miyazaki before Ghibli was even instilled. What's the word I'm looking for? Before Ghibli even came to be. You could call it, I guess, the movie that made Ghibli possible. Although, I guess that could be Laputa. It was, actually a Lupin the Third movie. Castle of Cagliostro. Which is a movie I want to see. I think my brother actually has a copy of it. I have to ask him if he still has that, if I can borrow it, because I'd like to watch it. I haven't really seen much of Lupin the Third. I remember back when it was on Adult Swim, I used to watch some episodes of it, which looking back I really shouldn't have. Because I was like a teenager. Like a young teenager too. I really shouldn't have been watching. I shouldn't have been watching Adult Swim, period. Back then. But I was anyway, because... Anyway. Yeah, so anyway, yeah. I would like to see that movie. Because I've heard it's a good one. It's a good Lupin the Third movie. Lupin isn't really Lupin in that movie. But it's a good movie, I've heard. So I would like to see it. Alright, anyway. I have a list open over here of all the movies that I have, of all the Ghibli movies. Some I have seen, some I haven't seen, some I don't plan to see. Because I've heard of them, and Alright, anyway, so. Going down the list, Grave of the Fireflies, I have seen. It's such a sad movie. But I have seen it. It was actually released the same year, on the same day as My Neighbor Totoro. Which is an interesting story, because they were actually as a double feature. Go figure. It's kind of weird. Anyway. Yeah, so Grave of the Fireflies, I have seen. I would love to own it, because it is a really good film. It's a really sad film, but it's a really good film. Don't watch it if you've had a hard day, because it'll just make your day feel even worse. Grave of the Fireflies was an Isao Takahata film. Most of the films I haven't seen are Isao Takahata films. Go figure. Alright, anyway. Next one is Only Yesterday, which didn't really look very interesting to me, so I don't think I'm going to watch it. It's another Isao Takahata film. The next one I haven't seen is Ocean Waves, which was a project done by a lot of junior animators and junior directors with Ghibli. So I don't really think I'm going to be watching that one anytime soon. I don't even think it was dubbed. So I would have to like track it down online or track down an illegal copy or something like that, which I don't even want to do because it just is. All right, and the next one is Pom Poko. Another Isao Takahata film, surprisingly, which I don't think I'm ever going to watch. Because of magical raccoon testicles? No. So that may be the reason. Not that I'm against magical raccoon testicles. It just doesn't seem like a very interesting movie to me. I'm just gonna give it a pass. Next one is Whisper of the Heart, which I would really like to watch. I would really like to get a dubbed copy of it, so I'm gonna keep my eye out for that one and hopefully get it someday when I have money. Next one is My Neighbors the Yamadas, which I haven't seen either. Which I guess I could watch at some point. I'm really kind of meh about it. The next one is The Cat Returns, which I did kind of like I did kind of like the look of, so I guess I could watch it at some point. Whether I like it or not, I don't know. Tales from Earthsea, I would really like to watch because I've heard a lot of good things about it. I haven't heard anything about it really anyway. I've heard it's the only films, it's one of the only films so far, except for the one in production right now, I believe, that is directed by Hayao Miyazaki's son Goro, which is pretty cool. So I would like to take a look at that one. Ponyo is one that I have seen that I kind of liked it. I don't think I'm going to buy it anytime soon. I mean, when me and Silent get married and we have kids, I'll probably buy it for my kids. But that's pretty much it. Other than that, nah. Next up on the list is The Secret World of Arrietty, which I haven't seen. I wanted to see it in theaters, but I wasn't able to get down there and watch it. So I haven't really heard anything about it. So hopefully I'll be able to watch it soon, and then be able to wanna buy it or not. And then there's actually one on the list up on Poppy Hill, which I think is the one in production right now, I believe. If it isn't, let me know, because if it has been released, I would like to know a little bit more about it. And that's it, I believe. Yeah, Nausicaa, the Valley of the Wind was actually a pre-Ghibli movie. Which is interesting. Sorry, I've got the wiki up. Alright, anyway, yeah, that's it for episode 3 of Xana's Closet. I hope you enjoyed my little insight into... I hope you liked digging into my past and how I originally got into, well, Ghibli in the first place with Totoro. Because it's one of my loves, really. I love anime, but Ghibli is something special because it's something that I grew up on, really, with Totoro. And when I found out that there were other movies by that person when I got older, I couldn't help myself. I had to watch more. So that's how it was. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this little insight. I've got other animes that I can talk about. One of which is actually one that I've been following since my freshman year in high school, actually, which I actually might want to talk a little about for episode 4. I might want to do a little bit of research first, because I don't know if the writer is going to be coming back from hiatus or not. I have to do a little bit of research. So yeah, I think that's it. Let me show you this one little thing first. I gotta jump up from my chair. To send you off, I'm going to show you this because I got this at a con. My very first anime con back in 2008 at Anime USA. I got this. And I was so happy because I was sitting there watching this woman draw this with marker. And I was so happy. I bought this for like $30. My own little Totoro picture. I love this picture. I'm going to frame it at some point. I'm going to frame it and put it up on my wall at some point. I love this picture. My Totoro. With May. I love Totoro. It's one of my favorites. It is my favorite. No question about it. It is my favorite. Alright, so anyway, I've been talking for about 46 minutes now. I need to stop. And go eat. I need to put some Nutella on some toast and eat it for lunch. Alright, anyway. So, yeah. That's it. Episode 4 of Zana... Not 4. 3. What's wrong with my head? Episode 3 of Xana's Closet is done. So, yeah. I think I already know what topic I'm going to do for episode 4. Which is another animation topic. So, yeah. I'll see you then. Bye. I'm going to stop spazzing out. Bye.